So the title says I was supposed to be in Hollywood by now. What the hell does that mean? Well, when you're in acting class, acting school, right out of high school, which I was in 1999, 1998, we all just, it was like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon writing Good Will Hunting. We're like, oh, we could do that. And seeing Jason Biggs in American Pie, I was like, oh, that guy's funny, I can do that. Or Matthew Perry on Friends being funny, I was like, I can do that. Cut to however many years later, this is 26. No, not in Hollywood. And it's a weird thing because I'm in the same boat as a lot of people here, and all very talented. You know what I mean? And we're all just like, someone said we're like gamblers. You're just like professional gamblers. Like you're just betting red, or you're betting black, or whatever it is. And that next roll can take you to whatever, right? And it's just, I don't know, every year it's just like one thing after another. And we all kind of thought, oh yeah, by this age, by our late 20s at least, we're going to be crushing it in Hollywood, working with Spielberg and this kind of thing. And a lot of people have fallen off that I went to acting school with. They just stopped acting altogether, which is too bad. Because what I'm realizing is you just have to keep showing up. You just have to not stop, right? Seth Rogen had that video. He's like, the only way you're going to guarantee to not work is if you quit acting. That was a terrible Seth Rogen impression, but it's true. If you quit, you take yourself out of the running. And obviously we've all mini quit. We've micro quit so many times. I think I micro quit yesterday. So it's tricky. But what I realized is there is no destination. Like, even if you quote unquote, like saying, why am I not in Hollywood, or why is someone not in Hollywood? It's like, there's no destination. You don't arrive. No one's like handing you an envelope or a key and saying, welcome. You can get to certain points of success where, you have your name has a certain cachet, and that's cool. But you don't ever stop. You don't just get somewhere at the top of a mountain and they're like, all right, you're good, just kick your feet up. But I do believe that there is a point where you can get to where you can have a certain amount of success and your name can have a certain amount of cachet, and that will open doors. But I could see that there's a place where you could also get to a place where you're just never satisfied. Like nothing's ever enough. And it was funny when I did the show called Firefly Lane on Netflix a couple years ago. Me and a buddy of mine, we had recurring regular roles on it. And I don't know about him. I can't speak for him. We went to high school together. His name is Brendan. He played the character of Mutt. I don't know what his thoughts on it, but for me, I was like, whoa, this is it. Let's do it. I don't know why. I just thought people would watch the show. Some casting director in LA, they'd be like, my God, it's him. We must have him. That did not happen. And it's a weird thing. Maybe I'll talk about that in another video, what the experience was like. But yeah, I kind of thought, oh yeah, it's going to skyrocket. And nope. There's just so much content out there. It's like, it doesn't matter. And the way things used to be, it's not like that anymore. What do I mean by that? Well, it's just so true. You can just pick up your phone, make a movie, put it into some festivals, can get a lot of hype around it, and you're a sought after director. I mean, it's not like that overnight, but there's way more opportunities like that. Or, they want to hire such and such because they've got 1 million followers on TikTok. or subscribers on YouTube or whatever it is, because all they want is just eyeballs on their project, right? The producers, execs, they want eyeballs on the show or whatever. So if such and such has a million followers and this person over here has 10,000 followers, this person's not as strong an actor as this person, but they got all these followers, so there you go. And then that doesn't happen in every project, but it is a thing. And so there are other ways and avenues to get yourself seen and noticed. I don't know if it's harder or easier. It's just different. It's just different. But yeah, the industry itself has just changed so much. It's all self-tapes. A lot of us had a lot of success, myself included, from being in the room with the director, the casting director, and they give you feedback and you're able to respond and answer immediately and do the adjustment that they ask for. Or you have a certain rapport, and it's great. But now it's just all self-tapes, and you don't really get a sense of who the person is. And I've heard some horror stories where, they get the guy who did 25 takes to finally get it right on a self-tape, and they get on set, and it's not exactly as advertised. And there was one person who was a younger actor, apparently, and I got on set, and they had to have like an acting coach. They had to hire an acting coach to help this person because they just were not comfortable, and it was just, they weren't making their days or whatever it was. And it's like, yeah, that happens. And I had a situation recently where there was a lot of technical jargon, and this poor person showed up and just had a rough go, and like you could just feel it, because it's not just the one actor, but it's the scene itself. And if it revolves around that person, the timing's off, or they keep forgetting their lines, or they're not adjusting, and it's like it's like a balloon that just feels deflated because it's happening like take after take after take. And you feel bad for this person because you're like, they're not probably enjoying it either. And so it's kind of a disservice. So I don't know. As much as I like doing the self-tapes from a distance and being able to be with my kids and stuff, I think it's missing. I think we need to get back in the room somehow. I don't know if we ever will, but that would be cool. So, yeah, the thing in terms of Hollywood, it's like, okay, well, for me, what does that mean? It's like, well, you kind of got to be there, either in LA or New York or whatever. It's like, it's at least from what I'm told. Maybe not. Maybe there's a way around it. But certainly it helps if you're able to be there, meet people in person, and they can see you. And again, I know this sounds counterintuitive or contradicting to the whole self-tape thing where you're taping from a distance, but if you're not there, if you don't have a visa, a green card, or whatever, they can't really hire you, right? So in a way, you do need to be there and have, obviously, proper working papers, etc. But, I'm married, I got 2 kids now, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, I can still figure it out, but it's, I don't know, it's weird. It's changed. It's different. I asked a friend of mine who I worked with in the past, they're a well-known actor, and they were like, well, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, they would say, absolutely. I would say, go down 100%. And then, but they're like, well, now I don't know. Everything's so different. And self-tapes, there's other ways and avenues. And I think that's true. I think the same path of like going to Hollywood, get her done. I don't know if it has to be that way. It might be an easier way. It might be the better way, but I don't know if it has to be that way. What I'm doing right now, I don't know. Who knows? If I do a bunch of these videos, it could lead to something, could lead to nothing. But it's more of a path than it ever was. And that's kind of cool. Got my Tim Hortons coffee. I'm literally doing this series on TikTok where it's like, what am I at? Day 6 of trying to get Tim Hortons employees to like me. Because we have these drive-thrus up here. I don't know about in the States. The States more Dunkin' Donuts, but here we got Tim Hortons, and I don't know what it is with the drive-thru. Some of the employees, they're just like, I don't know you, therefore you are my sworn enemy. Like there's this real off the bat, I don't know what that is. But if you go to the same one, if you go through the same drive-through enough times, then they'll recognize you, get to know you, and then you're BFFs. But there's no initial warmth, smile. It's just like, we got to get you through. We're being timed. It's got to go, 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 go. So anyway, I'm doing this fun series. I digress. So what would that even mean to me, Hollywood? I don't know. Like, for me personally, I just want to work with other pros and people who are the best at what they do. And you can do that here in Vancouver, in Canada. Like, we just filmed Watson, that show on CBS, and that'll be coming out in the next little while. Episode 9, I think. Is it season 3 or 2? Anyway, episode 9 of this season. Check it out, tune in. But yeah, I'm working with Morris Chestnut, who, you know, I've watched forever. We all have, you know, starting from Boys in the Hood on. Super nice guy, by the way. And then another actor, Peter, who plays the twins on the show. You know, he was on The Americans for 3 seasons because he lives in New York, and that show filmed in New York, so I'm sure that makes sense proximity-wise to get on a show. But anyway, there's this massive show. I still got to finish, but you know, he was great to work with. Solid actor, super nice guy. So you do work with very talented people. It's just I don't know what it will be to say like, oh, I've made it, or he's made it, or so and so has made it. And I'm sure there's people that have seen me on TV and they're like, oh, he's made it in some sense, or he's doing it, which I am, but it's not. I don't know when that point will come. I don't know when I'll be like, made it. I don't know if that exists. But I have a friend of mine who's just in this massive movie right now. He's on the freaking posters. And you see that, you know, and another friend working on this big show, and you see that and you're like, man, why not? Why not me? Why am I not at that place? And that's dangerous, by the way. Very dangerous thinking. I'll probably do another video on that at some point, but like, comparing yourself to someone else, it's like the stupidest thing you could do. You have no idea what they did to get there. You have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. You have no idea what's going on in their personal life. You have no idea what they went through before. You have no idea what's going to come after. You have no idea if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It just seems like a good thing because it's this thing that you want, but there's way more variables. And so you really just have to, to try to wrap this up, you got to stick to your, stay in your own lane in a sense, but also like, just stick to you, whatever you're doing. It's like, just stay within your bubble, I guess, in a sense. So you don't compare yourself to other people. You're not always thinking of how it could be this or should be that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's your own thing. I think it was Denzel Washington that was like, he had this great advice. I don't know if it was from him to someone else or someone else to him, but it was like, run your own race. And that's so true. When you look to the right, look to the left, you see people ahead, further behind. It should have no bearing on what you're doing. So just, run your own race. Hope that helps. Hope you guys are well.